The following interaction was a questionnaire created for Mr. Crowley to answer. We then later had a conversation discussing his answers. From the conversation we had and from the questionnaire, I can tell that he had many of the same views as I did. We both seem to agree that technology can be a distraction, but we both also agree that technology can be quite helpful with improving the educational experience. So, the question would be, how can we train students to utilize technology in the classroom in a way that only enhances the student's efficiency? My belief still remains that the same. My belief still remains the same after my conversation with Mr. Crowley. We must begin to step away from the lecture-based learning environments and do more hands-on activity in the classroom. We should use technology for planning, sharing, and organizing, but we have to learn to not let our devices take over the majority of our time. Technology should be used as a type of learning insurance. What I mean by this is we shouldn't have to rely on getting our information from the computer always, but we can use it to further or tweak our understanding from what we learned in the classroom. Let's take a look now at the conversation between Mr. Crowley and I. The first question I asked was, what are some of the advantages and disadvantages you have observed from using technology, such as the iPad, in a learning environment? He said, here are the advantages. The main advantage is access to information, and he elaborated. First, you can get information anytime, anywhere, learning and access to information. Two, you have global resources and a global audience, and he elaborated on that. Authentic learning, solving and thinking about real problems. And then he said the main disadvantage was the access to the internet. So, I agree with his advantages. You can share, there's a bigger audience, and you have a ton of resources. But his disadvantage, I agree with too. In a lecture-based environment, you have the easy access to get away from the lecture and to do what you want rather than what you can do in the classroom, because you know you can access the information anywhere on the internet later. But that's not the efficient way of learning. Question number 2 explored the positives and the benefits of technology in a learning environment. Here's question number 2. I personally believe that technology is beneficial to students for organizational reasons and for increasing the efficiency for getting assignments done. Would you agree or disagree with that belief? What are, if any, other reasons you think technology is good for students in a learning environment? Here was Mr. Crowley's response. Yes, tech allows students to go deeper or wider onto topics that are of interest to them. There is so much information available via tech, and tech provides the tools that make it easier to organize, synthesize, and analyze that information. Curation and creation tools equal invaluable when there is simply too much information available. The ability to make sense of all this info and the ability to discern what is true and what is not true is even more critical today. I agree with Mr. Crowley's beliefs that tech allows students to go much deeper and that the internet almost acts as a toolbox for students because it gives a lot of tools that can help enhance the educational experience. Although the internet can act as a toolbox for students, does the good outweigh the bad? Question 3 asked Mr. Crowley about the disadvantages of technology in a classroom today. Here's question 3. Would you agree or disagree that technology can be a major distraction in a lecture-based learning environment? Here's his answer. Yes, many things can be distracting during a lecture. It's the nature of lectures. But yes, technology is a very attractive distraction, especially when a lecture may or may not be useful or interesting. Mr. Crowley from this question seemed to agree with me that technology can act as an easy escape from paying attention in a lecture-based environment. I know in my own experience, technology in a lecture-based environment is very appealing because you are a click away from something more entertaining and you know in the back of your head that you can find the information from the lecture either online or from someone who is paying attention. I believe this is the biggest threat to the learning environment. We need to think of ways to make the learning experience more hands-on so we can be away from these easy distractions. To me, not only is technology a distraction in a lecture-based environment, but in any learning environment that lacks hands-on activity. Question 4 asks Mr. Crowley a little bit about this. Here's question 4. Would you agree or disagree that technology can even be a distraction in a non-lecture based learning environment? Mr. Crowley said, yes, because the ease of losing focus on tasks when there are so many other tasks a click away, it is important for students to develop strategies to remain on task when working online. While I see Mr. Crowley's point that students need to implement strategies to stay on task in the classroom, I don't fully agree with that. I think that it's inevitable that as long as students have the freedom to be on their technology during class, that there will be avenues to major distractions. I think this is where teachers need to step in instead of just hoping that students will come up with the strategies themselves. I think teachers should begin to restructure the learning environment. I think they can do this by having more hands on activity and tests that asks us to apply the knowledges we have been given to real life scenarios so that there isn't just a Googleable answer and we actually learn how to use the information that we are given. I also strongly feel that this type of assessment will make the information stick better with students long term. Mr. Crowley and I both seem to agree that one very important thing is for teachers to create questions that aren't Googleable, like I said earlier. While it might be more inconvenient for students, it's forcing them to apply the information they learn to real life situations. In a world today that moves so quickly, people often look for the quick fix, which takes away from the very valuable skill of problem solving. Problem solving skills start in a school environment, and we need to make sure that we aren't moving away from this very important skill. While the quick fix might seem like the easy way out, it won't serve you as well as coming up with a long-term solution. Schools are a good representation of how society has moved away from long-term solutions and towards quick fixes. Problem solving starts at school, and we need to make sure that technology does not get in the way. Hands-on activity will allow students to learn how to solve issues, and this type of interaction-based atmosphere will provide information to students that is relevant to them and will stick better long term.